Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video. I'm Sarahdawn, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about synchronicities and signs that come from our angels. So, synchronicities and signs both are really relatively easy concepts. They're easy to understand, and they're the easiest and most common way for our angels to talk to us, and the easiest way for us to understand what our angels are telling us. Yet, when you're not used to them, or how they feel, or when you have a lot of self-doubt or a loud ego, it can be quite challenging to know when your angels are talking to you and when it is just coincidence or even wishful thinking. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what they are, what you can expect, and what to look for to confirm that what you are experiencing is in fact coming from your angels. So before I get started, I just want to send out a big old thank you and a whole bunch of love to those of you that have been active on Facebook and answering all those questions that I've been putting out there about angel signs. I'm going to keep doing that because it's really actually been very helpful for me, and it is a ton of fun to see what your answers are. You know who you are: Christine, Lucy, Claire, Alan. I just want to let you know that, the more I talk to you, the more that I hear your stories, the more just excited I am about doing these videos and writing my blog posts, because I think about you when I'm planning for it all, and it is just really exciting. And you have no idea how much I'm loving it all. So I just wanted to send out extra love and lots of thank yous so you guys know just how much I really do appreciate you. So let's begin by going over what synchronicities and signs are. I'm going to try to give as many real life examples as I can as I talk about what synchronicities and signs are, so that it gives you a better idea of how these things kind of play out in the world if you don't have much experience with them. But remember, if you have any questions or need clarification or anything like that at all, you can always leave your questions in the comments. So, synchronicities. Synchronicities are when events occur that seem to be related or seem to be connected in some way, but they have no causal connection, which means they seem to be related and connected in some way, but you can't really prove that one caused the other one to happen. So, for example, a synchronicity would be, say, I just said a prayer and I asked the angels to send me a sign to let me know that they had heard my prayers. And later that day, as I am going into the grocery store, I'm walking through the parking lot, I find a white feather along my path. So that's a synchronicity. That sign, I know that sign, that white feather that the angels sent to me, was sent by the angels. However, I can't prove that it was my asking the angels to send a sign that actually caused that white feather to end up in my path. So you see what I mean? Synchronicities are simply just things that seem to be connected, but you can't really prove that they are. So even though nobody can really prove that these events happen, the timing of them is significant. The occurrence of them is significant, and how they make you feel is significant. So synchronicities often occur when your vibrations are high, or in other words, it's when you're in sync with the universe, or you're in sync with your angels, you're in sync with your life path, your spiritual mission, your soul's mission. When you're in sync with all of that, synchronicities, hence the sync in both words, right? Synchronicities will happen. And what this means is everything is just going well. Everything seems to go your way. Things fall into place easily. You have what seems like good luck, what you need is there. There's not a lot of struggle, challenges, or obstacles that get in your way because everything is just syncing up and going smoothly. Another time you'll find that synchronicities happen a lot is when you need something. So say like you need to buy something and you don't have the money, but later that day you find money in your pocket, or a check comes in the mail, or exactly what you need, or something even better is just somehow already in your possession. You just find it, like you already have it. Those are synchronicities. Okay, so like an example of this one, just to give you a better idea. So a while ago, during what we would call definitely my rock bottom, it was right after my husband died. I was dealing with my young children who all had some sort of special need or a high need that we were dealing with. And it all kind of boiled down to eventually getting evicted from where we lived. I mean, things were just really bad. I was mostly worried about how I was going to feed my children. How do I get food? And I don't want them to feel like we don't have food and that's something that they have to worry about. So I asked the angels to give me strength, patience, and the wherewithal to figure out how to get through this situation in the best possible way with the least impact on my kids. And I kid you not. Okay, this is when I started seeing the angel number 6 all the time. It's one of my first angel numbers I saw. And this was that time period when I was really seeing it. The angel number 6 means, don't worry so much about the physical world. Like, trust that the angels and your spiritual connection is taking care of you, and just focus on that spiritual connection instead. What was happening is I would see this angel number 6. I'd go home, wonder what the heck am I gonna make for dinner? I have nothing. I have no money. It was a terrible feeling, but I kept finding food that we somehow already had. Now, when you're that broke, every penny you spend and everything you buy. So it's not like you're buying lots of stuff and it's just hiding out in places that you're not aware of. Like, oh, I forgot I bought that. It wasn't like that at all. What was happening is I would find things that I didn't buy it. I didn't have it. I mean, how would this go on for so long too? Maybe a couple of times, but as many times as it did. And every time that we were completely out of food, something would show up. Even one of my kids' favorite meals after that came from that situation. I found a jar of Alfredo sauce and a can of that canned chicken and some peas. And I already knew I had some macaroni noodles, so I put them all together. The kids started calling it mac and peas, and it was one of their favorite meals. Even now, sometimes they still ask for it. So it's like these miracles that come out of it. Now, I can't prove to you that food seemed to appear out of nowhere when I needed it. I can't prove that it came from the angels, but I know in my heart that there's no possible way that it was there every time. I know I asked my angels, I know I put faith in my angels, and I know that this food was there when I needed it, and my kids really didn't notice just how difficult things were at that time, just like I had asked. Okay, so that's how synchronicities work. So a part of synchronicities are signs. Signs are synchronicities. So, because I already mentioned the white feather, I mentioned the angel number 6. Those are both signs. So what signs are is they utilize our physical senses. The angels or spirit, whoever is talking to us at the time, will utilize the physical world and our physical senses to give us a bit more direct messages. So that's why I would ask for a sign that the angels heard me after I said a prayer, because I want that communication from the angels that I otherwise may not know how to get. And a sign appears. And that's how I know it's from them. And they're telling me that, yes, we did hear your prayer, and that it is in the process of going where it needs to go. So I get that confirmation and that communication and that connection with them. And signs very similar to how the synchronicities work. They may just seem random. Most people are going to say that they seem just random. I randomly found a feather. I just randomly keep seeing the number 6 every time I look at the clock or a receipt or a license plate or a billboard. Just happen to be seeing it. They seem random. They seem like coincidences. But once again, you've got those feelings and those timings and all of that stuff going on where you just know that this is a sign from your angels. So signs will increase with your vibrations. Signs increase when you ask for them, and they increase when your vibrations are high. But, actually that's just what most people say. When you read about this kind of stuff or you're learning about this stuff, they'll say synchronicities and signs increase when your vibrations are high. And that's because of vibrational matching. How the angels have to lower their vibrations. We need to raise ours as much as possible so we could be as close a match as possible so we can communicate with each other. Mostly so we can hear the angels. However, in my experience, since everything went horribly wrong for me all those years ago, and angel whispered in my ear and changed my life and my entire perspective on this existence. Since then, what I have found is that it's not really vibrations that increase synchronicities and signs. Maybe it does, but maybe my vibes haven't been that high to notice a difference. What I've really noticed makes the biggest difference is faith. Just simply having faith, trust, and love. Your vibes can be as low as possible. I have been depressed. I have been suicidal, wanting my life to end, thinking that I was just the worst person on the planet and I didn't deserve to be here. My vibes have been that low, and I have still received signs. I've still received synchronicities. I still have received communication and assistance from my angels. And it is because I believed, because I had faith. Just like that last example I told you about. What other choice did I have at that point? Feeling that bad and that scared. Might as well just give it over to them and just forget about it. Just have faith that they're now taking care of it, right? And that is, in my experience, what I have found will increase any signs and synchronicities that you get. It'll increase anything you see about the angels. So if you ask them something and you need something, what you do is give it to them. You ask them for what you need, and then you stop thinking about it. You stop focusing on it. You stop worrying about it because you gave it over to them, and now they're going to take care of it for you. Okay, it's that faith, it's that believing, it's that trust. And it has to be a trust in your angels and a trust in yourself. And trust me, I know how hard that is. I know how hard it can be. But it doesn't take as much as you think it does. It's just make the decision. Just make the intention. Ask your angels and just have that intention with yourself that I'm giving it to the angels. No more worries. They're going to take care of it for me, and the best thing that can possibly happen is going to happen from here. Once you start doing that and figure out how to do that, you're going to have signs and synchronicities all over the place. You're not going to know what to do with all of them because there's going to be so much appearing to you. They're going to become commonplace, normal. So what is the purpose of signs? Why do the angels send us signs? They're simply just to communicate with us. It's a way for the angels to get our attention and let us know that they have something to say. The angels will also send a lot of signs or synchronicities into your life when they're around you. Maybe you asked for them. Maybe somebody else sent them to you. Or maybe they just know that you need them. In those moments, you will see more signs, and that can also be a time when your vibes are low. Don't let the world influence you or make you think that just because you're experiencing depression, anxiety, or any kind of low vibration emotion that you can't receive signs, because that's not true. What I've experienced lots of depression. I've experienced lots of anxiety, lots of stress, lots of health issues. And I have learned that it is your faith, your trust, your love of the angels, your belief in them that is going to make this stuff happen. If you're depressed, you can still get signs. Don't let the thought of those low vibrating emotions make you think that you can't get them. As I know, in those states is when you have more self-doubt. It's more likely to doubt that those signs are signs. So if you already have the idea that you can't get them when you're in a low state like that, it's just going to complicate the problem. That's when you need the angels the most. That's when you need to hear what they have to say the most. So don't let the world make you think that that's the way it works. You can still communicate with your angels, even in your worst moments. They will find a way to get through to you. Another reason that the angels like to send us signs is when they have already heard you, and to let you know that you've been heard. Your prayers have been heard. Your intentions have been heard. They are received and they're going where they need to be. It's kind of like a feedback type of system that you've been talking to God, you've been talking to the angels, you've been setting your intentions, you've done all this work, doing what you need to do, and then a sign pops up just to let you know you're on the right track and things are going well. So synchronicities are a way for the angels to talk to us. Synchronicities and signs are a way for the angels to communicate with us. That's our primary purpose with these signs, is communication with the spiritual realm, to receive across that veil what we may otherwise not be able to receive. But the thing about it is, because angel signs are communication, they're not always going to be like sunshine, unicorn, and rainbows. It's not always going to come across in the way that you expect or what you hope for, because this communication is pure, genuine, honest guidance that is intended to help you along your path to accomplish your soul's mission. It's meant to actually help you, not to just make you feel good, right? So if you're not on the right path or something not quite right is going on, you will get signs. And these are what might be called angel warning signs. They're just red flags along your path to let you know that something's not quite right. And, they can manifest as things not quite working out, things not going your way, a sense of like failing at what you're doing. It's not working. Every step you take, there's some sort of block. It's in the way, the opposite of, the synchronicities that we talked about earlier. It is synchronicities. But oddly enough, it's not the positive, oh yes, everything went perfectly and in sync. It's kind of going the other way. So I'm trying to accomplish this goal, but everything is getting in my way. Everything is stopping me or slowing me down or preventing me from making progress. Also synchronicity, okay? It's not negative. It's just, us human beings, we think we like to be in control. We think we know what we want and what we need. We ask the angels, help me through this situation. Help me make this situation better. And then we think we know how it needs to be made better. But we don't. We don't really know. The angels know better than we do. So we may be going down the wrong path, thinking we're going down the right path. And the angels are just throwing out these red flags to us every step we take, and it's stopping us. So anytime that you feel like you're not making progress, or it just feels like roadblocks, like something is actually stopping you, that's a time to take a step back. Really take a step back and see if maybe what's going on is divine intervention. It is signs from your angels that now may not be the right time for this particular goal. So I'm going to do a whole video on these types of angel signs and synchronicities soon, like really soon, within the next couple of videos that I do, where I will talk more about angel warning signs and how things like depression, anxiety, and other low vibrational feelings or thoughts can actually be signs from your angels and what you can do about it. So there are kind of two types of signs that you're gonna need to be aware of as you progress along this journey of communicating with your angels. There are external signs and there are internal signs. So external signs are the easy ones. Those are the ones that happen in the physical world. They're gonna be things that you can prove. So like the feather that I found in the parking lot, I can pick it up, I can show it to people. See, I found this feather. Or the angel number 6. There's a clock over there. That's why I keep looking over there whenever I talk about it. But the angel number 6, I could take a picture of the 6 every time it shows up on the clock, and I can screenshot it if it's on my computer, and I can show it to others. If somebody else is in the room, I'd be like, look, there's a 6. There really is a 6 on the clock right now, on that clock. Anyway, so I can say, look, it's in, listen, see, hear, smell that. That's all in our physical world. So those are like external signs. But signs can also be internal. And that they're still utilizing our 5 senses for the most part. Except these ones are going to occur in your mind's eye or in your mind's ear. And this is where if you struggle with self-doubt or believing that signs from the angels are real, or trouble believing that maybe you're worthy of receiving these signs and communications from the angels, these are the ones that you'll probably struggle with more because it's happening in your mind's eye. It's your psychic abilities. So things like flashes of light, smells, voices, that whispering, the angels whispering in your ear, feels like they're talking somewhere in your head, that type of thing. Sounds like the ringing in your ears, those types of things. They're things that nobody else is going to hear. Nobody else is there to hear them or see them. I see a flashlight and nobody else in the room sees that flashlight. So it must be occurring somehow within my mind's eye or within just my eyeballs. It was meant only for me. So those are harder ones to, get over that hump of self-doubt or your ego trying to tell you it's just coincidence, because you can't show it to anybody else. You can't really talk about it in the same way. But at the same time, it's those internal signs that are the most important, that give you the most information. And I want to talk about them just a little bit more in this video, because a lot of the times what happens is when you see an external sign, it automatically leads to an internal sign. So the external sign is just there to get your attention, and it triggers these internal signs, and it triggers a cascading of thoughts and feelings and communication directly channeled, all of that stuff from your angels. So it's so important to recognize and accept this about yourself. Angels communicate with us through our psychic abilities. So don't be surprised when synchronicities and signs and any kind of communication from your angels come through your psychic senses and abilities. Trust it. It's okay. You can trust it. So just to give you another example of what I'm talking about here, so that you can really get what I'm saying. Let's say I'm driving down the highway and I see a billboard. It's a billboard of a girl on the phone talking to her grandma. I don't know, it's a long distance commercial or something, or ad. It's a long distance ad up on the billboard. And I see it. It's a sign, literally, and the angel sign. And it triggers in my mind's eye a vision of me talking to my grandmother. And then that triggers this thought, I should call my grandmother And then it triggers this emotion that, yeah, I should call her. I'm not sure why. You see how this kind of cascades into this whole process. Now, at that point, I can be like, well, that billboard just reminded me of my grandma. It just triggered a bunch of emotions. It's just a coincidence. Of course I thought about my grandma when I saw that that's what it's meant to do. And then just dismiss it. Or I could be like, wow, that was a lot of stuff that just happened. Why did I happen to look up at that billboard? And why am I thinking and feeling so strongly that I should, actually do what I'm seeing in my head, what I'm seeing myself doing in my mind's eye? So you go through with it. Follow through. Maybe it's a sign from the angels, you say to yourself. I don't know, but maybe. So you call grandma. You call her. And it turns out like she fell and broke her hip, and she's been stuck on the floor and can't figure out how to get a hold of anybody because, well, she's like my grandma, she's old and she's forgotten everybody's phone numbers. It's not programmed in her phone. I don't know, just go with it. It's a hypothetical situation. But let's just assume, she needs you. She needs help really, really bad. And if you hadn't called her, she wouldn't be able to get the help that you are now going over there to give her. Right? That was a sign from the angels that started with that billboard, that physical sign in your external environment that got your attention, which then triggered the internal sign, the vision in your head that you saw, the picture in your head that you saw. The picture doesn't always have to be out there. Sometimes it's in here. You see what I mean? And if you don't pay attention and you don't trust those internal signs that come to you and follow external signs, you're gonna miss the meat and the juiciest part of the messages that your angels are sending you. So I keep mentioning the self-doubt. I struggled with a lot of doubt when I first started talking to the angels and working with the angels. I didn't feel worthy at all. I just told you about the depression that I had and how bad it was. The angels are the ones who got me through it. But I did not feel worthy for a very, very long time. I'm not talking about a couple months or a couple of years. I'm talking about several years till I could let go of my own doubt enough to believe, to really truly believe that what I was hearing and receiving was coming from the angels. And I'll tell you that once I did, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Life is so much better without that self-doubt, without that ego voice constantly getting in the way. So, that's what I'm trying to do here, is make it happen for you just a little bit faster. And that's what all these videos are about. Learn how to trust that side of yourself. Learn how to get over that hump of self-doubt so that you can fully experience this relationship with your angels that you deserve to have. Okay, so with all of this self-doubt and all of this stuff, the next question has to be, how do you know? How do you know when a sign is from the angels or when it's just a coincidence? When is that billboard with grandma on there going to be a sign that I need to call my grandmother because something's wrong or something's good? Who knows? But when is it that I need to call my grandma, and when is it just an ad that I happen to see? How do you know? The first thing to do is trust, like I keep talking about, trust yourself. Your intuition is going to tell you exactly if this is an angel sign or not. So here's the question I'm going to pose to you. Say that you do see a sign and you assume that it's a sign from your angels. What is the worst thing that's going to happen if you're wrong? What if you assume something is a sign when it was just coincidence? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? What are you going to think, that your angels talk to you? Are you going to feel like your angels love you? Are you going to feel closer to your angels? Are you going to find a solution to your problem? Are your vibes going to get higher? I mean, what is bad about any of this? Who cares if you're actually right or not? If that sign is helping you, then it's angelically inspired at the very least. So my point is, whether you're right or wrong, who freaking cares? If it helps you, it helps you. And that's the point of it all. That's all that matters. But the fact is that it probably is a sign, because the angels are sending us signs all the time. They don't just send signs when we ask, or when we're thinking about it, or when we're aware of it. They don't just send us signs when we believe in them and want this to be happening in our life. Angels are constantly sending signs all the time. We are constantly surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of signs and attempts of the angels to send us these bits of communication and guidance along our path. We have free will. We don't have to notice them if we don't want to. It's our choice. But, and then there's the people who maybe don't believe in angels, or they're not very spiritual people, and all of this stuff is, that new age hoopla to them. Their angels are still talking to them. Their angels are still guiding them and hopefully helping them down the path to be the closest to God that they can be. That's what our angels do. They're not going to stop doing it. They still have guardian angels. What are the guardian angels going to do? Sit in the background and play poker with each other because their person that the guardian angel of doesn't want to believe in them? No, they don't. They're still sending signs. They're still trying to help us along our path, whether we choose to see them or care to see them or want to see them or not. It's still happening. Even those of us who want to see signs, who ask for signs, who are trying to learn about signs and get better about this, probably only see about 1% of the signs that our angels actually send us. So I really think that it's not likely at all that you're going to have a false positive for a sign, when most of the time you're walking around not noticing them in the first place. You don't notice them. You're not aware of them, but they're occurring and happening all the time. So it's not very likely that you're going to mistake a sign or something that's not a sign for being a sign. It's just not in the odds, the odds are that's not going to happen. So just do your angels a favor, just let go, help your angels out, and just go ahead and accept every sign that comes to you as being a sign. Make things a little bit easier on your angels next time you see a sign, and just let go of all that doubt and just accept it as being a sign. So another thing that you can do to determine if what you're seeing is a sign is close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, relax, to try to get your conscious mind and your ego just out of the way and get into that relaxed state. And then once you're there, just ask yourself, is this a sign? Was this a sign? Whatever question you want to ask. And what you're going to do, what is very important that you do at this time, is accept whatever comes to you first. Whatever answer comes first is your answer. Yes, it's a sign, then take that as a sign. No, take that as your answer. It wasn't a sign. Because what is going to happen is, as soon as your answer comes, unless you're in a deep enough meditative state and really in tune with your angels, your ego is going to jump in and it's going to start trying to convince you that, of course, you said yes, that's your mind and that's what you want it to be. So that's, of course, what you're going to think when you do this. Your ego is going to do that to you. So the trick is you just accept that first answer. Then you're like, oh, sorry, ego, we're done. I'm not going to listen to you this time. We're just done. I'm accepting that answer. It'll tell you not to, but do it anyway. Another time to know that it's a sign and not just a coincidence is if it happens in threes. Things that happen in threes, it's your angels doing it. It's a sure indicator. If it's a sign that you weren't expecting, you see it once, whatever, I saw that. You see it again, oh, that's kind of odd. Could that be an angel sign? You see it 3 times, yes, definitely. It is a sign from your angels that happened 3 times. And something you could do is also go ask your angels to send you a sign 3 times if that's what you need. Say you see something 1 time and you're not sure if it's a sign, you can ask your angels, send it to me 2 more times. That way I've seen it 3 times, and that can help me overcome my ego and overcome my self-doubt and know for sure that this is from you. Now, your angels don't mind if you do that. It's okay. They don't mind that you have self-doubt. It's not a problem that you're not sure if it's a sign. The angels, they know what we go through. They know what we've been through. They know what our lives have been like and where we are now in the journey that we're embarking on. So they understand where we're coming from. And so it's okay if we ask for just a little more clarification. The trick about it is that asking means that we're in a place of expectation and knowing that when the same thing happens 2 more times, it's happening because we asked our angels to send it to us. So we're more open to receiving it and getting it. So they don't mind if you ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask your angels for anything at all. And of course, if you get a sign and you're wondering if it's a sign, or you have questions about the sign, and then you start receiving more signs and more synchronicities that answer your questions and seem to bring more answers and kind of further the whole story along, then you can be sure that that was a sign, because you're getting more signs that are telling you that that was in fact a sign. This is really just touching the surface of angel signs and these synchronicities. It's just the surface of what I really want to share with you. And I have a whole list of videos that I'm planning to do next, including a video about, how to get more signs and how to make sure you notice the signs when they do come into your life, and what to do if your signs suddenly stop. And of course, videos about how to kind of decipher and clarify and understand what these signs mean for you, and what to do next with them to understand the message that your angels are sending you when you see them. So in the meantime, I would say make sure you check out this playlist up here about talking to angels. It goes over lots of stuff about how to receive and hear your angels that will help you get more signs and help you understand your signs and help you communicate with the angels after you've gotten the signs. So check out that playlist. And of course, if you would like more videos about angel signs, like I just said I was going to do, or anything about angels and living your authentic life, be sure to subscribe and click that little bell button so you can get notifications of future videos when they come out. And of course, if you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like, because that's really helpful. And I will leave links down below to my books and my blog posts if you want to read some stuff in the meantime, and also over onto Facebook and Instagram if you're interested in checking out what's going on over there. As always, I am sending a ton of love and blessings to you all. You are absolutely amazing. Your angels love you, and I love you too. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.